What's going on, folks? Welcome back to another video. I'm Baha, and today I'll be talking to you about something which has changed my life forever. Now, to those of you who don't know, I've actually moved to Malaysia at the age of 18. I lived there alone ever since, and right now as we speak, I'm almost 24 years old. But moving alone, living on my own, has changed my life forever, and it has actually helped me to see the world from a very different perspective. However, moving alone also comes at its own cost, and things need to be learned if you really want to survive living alone. So today, I'll be discussing with you 5 of the top things that I think can help anyone who is still moving out on their own to a brand new city, whatever reason it may be. Maybe you're pursuing further studies, maybe you're pursuing a dream. There are a lot of reasons why people move out, and I hope that I'll be able to help you make your life easier when you move out. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, the first thing that I want to talk to you about is actually consider getting a pet. Now, surprisingly, I couldn't get a pet here because I live in an area which restricts having pets because it's a student residence. However, if you do have a chance to get a pet or somebody to play with when you're bored, especially at the very beginning, do that. Mainly because having a pet makes sure that you're not going to be mentally depressed, makes sure that your mental health is in check, because the effects on your mental health will reflect a lot on your life later on in the future. So yeah, the very first thing that I want to discuss with you today is to actually bring a pet, have someone to play with in the meanwhile as you still explore your life and try out new things. And this is what we'll be discussing later on within this video. The second point that I want to discuss with you is actually to try out new things and click with the people around you. When you're moving around, when you're discovering, you don't know anything, and you really need to discover the place where you live, the country where you stay, and try out brand new things as soon as possible. Because the moment that you try new things, you'll know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And when you know the difference between these two, you'll be quickly able to classify what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And when you know what you want to do, you can stick to these habits. When you know what you don't want to do, you can stay away from these, just to make sure that you learn from the experience early on. It's better to start trying new things earlier than later. The third point that I want to discuss with you is to actually blend in with the environment, connected to the previous point of actually trying out new things. When you want to blend into the environment is mainly because blending in with the environment and making new friends makes sure that you have someone to talk to, you have somebody to discuss with your life, you have somebody to actually have a conversation with when you're feeling down, you have someone to help you out when you need some help, because there's a very high chance that you're not going to be able to survive on your own. And this comes from experience. Having friends has actually helped me out in my studies here in Malaysia. And because I'm studying engineering, I couldn't always get everything done on my own. I will call a friend and give them a specific task and ask them to help me with it. And in return, I'll be able to help them out with something else. It was a win-to-win benefit. So this was all a result because I have actually tried blending in with the environment and making new friends and clicking with people around me, seeing what they like to do, what they don't like to do, and actually giving them a chance to talk about themselves. This is what attracts people the most, and this is what has gotten me to blend in with the environment in the most efficient manner of all. Now, the fourth point that I want to discuss with you is to actually spend as less money as possible. Before we get into this point, there's a big difference that you need to understand. There's a difference between something that you need and something that you want. For example, if you have a good phone that is functioning properly and you want to get the latest iPhone or the latest Android flagship, this is a want. This is not a need. You don't need a brand new phone. You can live perfectly fine without it. You don't need to spend your money on that. Nothing is going to be affected. You're not going to be harmed in any way if you do not get the latest asset. However, let's say for instance, if you're thirsty or hungry, you need food, you need water, or if you're sick, you need to go to the hospital. Because by going to the hospital or by getting that stuff, you're assuring your own survival. Without water for a few days, without food for some time, chances are you're gonna die. You cannot survive without that stuff. This is a need. You need to focus your money on that. Keep it as low as possible. And above all else, save all of your money and buy whatever you want later on in the future when you have a grip of the place that you're living in. So this is the fourth point that I wanted to discuss with you. Now the final and most important point that I'll be discussing with you today is to actually take good care of both your physical and your mental health. And here's why. With taking care of your mental health, there's a very high chance that you're not going through mental depression phases and you know exactly what you're doing. But in order to properly take good care of your mental health, you need a routine. Figure out something that improves you every day, focus on that, and eliminate anything that makes your day worse. Period. Get a routine, take good care of your mental health, and when you take good care of your mental health, you'll also surprisingly take good care of your physical health. Because chances are, someone who has a good routine is playing sports in one way or the other. And by playing sports and taking good care of their physical health, they'll be able to sustain their health in the long term, in the future, and they will build habits, especially when they're still young. You might be at around the same age range as me, as I'm almost 24 as we speak right now. However, building your physical health and sustaining it simply means that over the long term, as I mentioned earlier, you'll be able to take good care of your money, you'll be able to finance other things, you'll be able to build projects for yourself, and overall, you will be able to sustain your life in a much better way than you would normally do, let's say if you have lived with someone who's actually spoiling you a lot, aka your family, alright? And that's about it for this little short video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more content whenever I upload it. And yeah, to summarize the points, let's just go through them one more time. The first thing you want to do is you want to get a pet. Second point is you want to try new things. Third point, you want to blend in with the environment. Fourth point is to spend as less money as possible. And finally, you want to take good care of your physical and mental health. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.